All right, we are here at Su Teatro. The Su Teatro Cultural and Performing Arts Center in the Santa Fe Arts District is an amazing location. And why are we here? Because we're celebrating Colorado's creative industries and the value that the arts bring to our lives, including performing arts. We support not just the innate value of arts and entertainment and recreation, but also the jobs that they bring to our state. And this bill, HB 211285, I want to thank Representative Benavidez, Representative Jared, Senator Joaquez Lewis, and Senator Buckner for their work. This bill will support Colorado's creative sectors with $6 million for the Film Incentive Program, bringing productions to Colorado and jobs and highlighting our great state on the national and international stage. $12 million for the Arts Relief Program for organizations and individuals that support arts and cultural and entertainment artists and crew members and those affected by COVID-19. And $1.5 million for Tier 3 cultural facilities that are nonprofits that are valuable parts of our community for programming for historically marginalized and underserved communities. And so we know that with the vaccine widely available, the arts are back. We're very excited about that. And this bill will provide a much needed jumpstart to get our creative juices flowing. I want to thank the sponsors, and we'll turn it over to Representative Benavidez.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. And first, let me just say thank you to our host, Tony Garcia. I don't know where he went, and Mika Garcia de Benavides from Su Teatro. There he is. I also wanted to take a minute to recognize some of the directors of some of the arts programs. Malik Robinson is here from Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Studio. I don't know if Reagan Linton's here yet from Family Theater, but she testified on this bill for us. Also, Deborah Jordy from SCFD is also here, and Rowena Naidu, who is the director that works with Maha United Way, that will get the monies out to the Tier 3 groups. And you know, this is an exciting day because all of these groups have struggled but managed to stay open and keep operating during COVID. And I know in early January, I was talking to Mika and Tony about how it is we could help at the legislature. And we came up with this idea to get this money directed specifically for these groups because they struggle so hard. And it's not only these groups, it's groups like the Black Arts Festival, the Dragon Boat Festival, a lot of groups that can't continue operating, and they have the March Powwow, a one-time function that they really need this assistance because these groups provide so much to our community. Just think of Su Teatro along this corridor, what it's done to the economics of this corridor, all the businesses that have opened and when it gets going. So it's exciting. All of this will help all of the arts groups. So thank you all so much for being here as we get this bill signed and get these monies out to you.
Well, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. I'm State Representative Leslie Herod. I'm so proud to be here to get this bill signed into law today. As you all know, I just recently joined the Joint Budget Committee, and it was quite a task. But one of the things, of course, we were tasked with was spending our federal and state stimulus dollars with the partnership of Governor Polis and so many others in leadership. I want to thank the governor's team for allowing us to think about recovery differently and ensuring that the arts were an integral part in Colorado's comeback. And that's what you see here today. So this bill is an extension of the initial work that we did to provide funding to the arts. I want to thank Deborah Jordy and so many others for helping us to conceive a program housed at Redline to get funding to artists and venues, not just the venues, but the artists directly too, because they contribute to what we have in Colorado as a rich culture, right? But our initial funding was not near enough. And as we looked back to see how Coloradans and Colorado artists were using the funds, we realized that initially we only met about a quarter of the need. We had much more work to do. And so I went back to the team and said, we need more money for the arts. And I know there's some folks on the governor's team that are laughing at me because they were sick of my reprieve about that, saying we need more money for the arts. And that is what you see here today. So not only do you see a huge investment, I want to say that you see in this bill, I'm going to open my notes here, a historic investment never seen before in film for Colorado. We will be bringing the film industry here. This bill has $6 million that is going to film. $6 million on top of what we had allocated in the budget initially. That will bring over $100 million of economic impact into Colorado. That's amazing. Shout out to Donald over here who helped to make that a reality, and I know will show that this really works, right? And that film is important here. Why shoot in Utah about Colorado when you can shoot in Colorado about Colorado, right? That's what we're doing with these dollars. Additionally, $15.5 million to artist relief for those venues and those artists directly. So if you are an artist and you are looking for funds for COVID because maybe you didn't qualify for anything else, be sure to apply. You deserve this funding. The community deserves you working. We need you in this sector. And of course, additionally, that $1.5 million that Representative Benavidez brought up, it is so very important. So I want to say that this is an initial commitment to the arts, but we are going to be doing so much. And we look forward to joining you on the streets, in your theaters, in your communities, in the lawn, to celebrate Colorado's comeback with you through the arts. Thanks so much for having me. And now I'm going to introduce one of my partners in crime, Senator Jaquez Lewis.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, everyone. Such an honor. I really do have to do a special shout out to Representative Herod because she kept coming to me saying, okay, we're going to do something for the arts with this bill. And then she kept saying, nope, that's not enough money. That's not enough money. That's not enough money. I was like, okay, keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. And a shout out to my other colleagues, Senator Buckner, Representative Benavidez, and of course to Governor Jared Polis. We have needed this arts money for a long time. But when you think about it, what was the first community that was impacted by the pandemic when it comes to having to shut down fast? It was the arts. All the festivals, all the theater productions, all the gallery shows shut down first. And what has been the last to start back? It's the arts. So we know that the commitment is there. We know that the communities need this. You know, I'm kind of a data person as a pharmacist, and one of the things that really struck me is how much money the arts brings to Colorado. So for every $1 that we're going to spend in the arts, we're going to get $7 back. And I really want to do a shout out to the film groups in our state. Personal story, I actually wrote a film script many years ago, like 20 years ago, and was able to sell it for a television production, and it just got me hooked. I met so many wonderful people that were in production and that did all the things that are associated with arts and especially film. So I'm really, really happy to be a Senate sponsor of this. And last but not least, this is not just a front range piece of legislation. Every county in Colorado, except I think one, I won't name them, has an arts group that could apply and get funding from this bill. So this is something that could impact the whole state. So I'm really proud to be a part of it. I thank my colleagues, and let's get the arts going. Woo!
Good morning. I am so excited that I am a co-prime sponsor for the Senate on this important bill. What would we do without the arts? The arts are in our soul, they're in our heart. I just cannot imagine life without the arts. And I'd like to recognize some of the individuals who are here today, because the individuals who have their art companies and practices are included in this bill. So if you're an individual person out there who is in the arts, raise your hand, because you are included in this funding. Woo! I live in Aurora. My Senate district is in Aurora, and I am thrilled that some of my Tier 3s will be eligible for some of this money. And I tell you, we persevered, but I've got to give it to Senator Leslie Herod. She did not give up. When I say we persevered, we really persevered and got more money, which is so crucial to these programs. So, thank you for being patient. I know it wasn't easy because I have so many friends here today who have been struggling. So now you can make it. We're here to help you. Help is on the way. Let's get this bill signed. And thanks to everyone. And thank you, Governor Polis, for understanding how important this is to us as state legislators, but also all of you in the arts community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're here for you. We're so glad we were able to deliver. And let's get the arts going again in the biggest way possible. Thank you.
All right, ready to sign. It's officially the law of Colorado. Very exciting. All right. We have House Bill 21-1263. Senator Rodriguez is with us. We also thank Senator Heisey, Representative Roberts, and Representative Soper. And I want to thank the General Assembly for working hard on this bill. The Colorado special events sector employs well over 36,000 Coloradans, many more part-time on top of that. But the impact of our meetings and events industry is even greater than that, because it's what fills up local restaurants and hotels and flights. And meetings and event attendees are a predictable source of revenue for our local economy and tourism. And many even stay on a few days after their meeting and spend even more money in our state as tourists. And that's why we've created this incentive to help our downtowns and destinations and local government to help small businesses come back. What this bill does, very simply, it creates the Meeting and Events Incentive Program within the Office of Economic Development, International Trade, $10 million of stimulus funding, a small rebate to cover a portion of the hard costs of hosting an event in Colorado to help attract conventions and events back to our state and make us competitive. We want to drive job creation, economic recovery. We want to fend off cancellations and postponements and loss of revenue in other states. We want to show that Colorado is the best place to hold an event. And I want to thank Representative Roberts, Representative Soper, Senator Rodriguez, and Senator Heisey, and I'll turn it over to the lead sponsor in the Senate, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Governor. It was very exciting to be part of this bill. As many of you know, last year when we had to shut down the state and a lot of events, but Denver alone generates a lot of revenue from tourism and from conventions and events, and also our rural communities. Many of us know how beautiful Colorado is, and these cities thrive on tourism and events and weddings and events coming to there, and brings jobs and motel stays and restaurant visits and going rafting or enjoying our mountains, anything that people can do to come here. So to see us invest in the recovery of all these communities that have been shut down through this is an exciting thing to be a part of. I wish my co-sponsors had been here. Many of them are from the rural, but this also affects the main town stuff as well as the rural. So it's exciting to be part of this bill, and I'm just glad I was here to be a part of it. And thank you very much, Governor.
It's officially the law of Colorado.